Yes, thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. I understand that this is a heart-wrenching issue, but for me, it's not imposing biblical morality, as others have accused me of, but it's advancing the social good. Are we seeing the fulfillment of Isaiah's prophecy of the days when evil is called good and good called evil, and put in darkness for light and light for darkness? For me, it's biblical, it's ethical, and a spiritual issue, because Genesis 1:27 is clear. We are all made in God's image, and to keep a baby from being born is to rob God of the glory he deserves from that child. Abortion robs God of his glory by substituting man and government in God's place to determine life and death. And let me remind those who want to silence my views that my constitutional First Amendment right is religious liberty, and yours too. You can believe what you want, I can believe what I want, based on our Constitution. Moreover, separation of church and state, a couple of the phone calls I got, it means that you separate the institutions, but not the influence. And anybody in history that looks up the speeches of our founding fathers, you can find them laced with scripture. God is the creator, and creation is supposed to worship the creator, not the reverse. Again, we are created in God's image. When they tried to silence Peter and John from preaching the gospel, they responded that it's better for them to please God than man. The question then is, who favors abortion more, God or Satan? Author Mark Batterson asks, and I quote, "Does your heart break for the things that break the heart of God?" Creation is supposed to worship the Creator. It's not my body, it's God's, and when he calls it home, many people are going to find that out. The birth of children is celebrated in the Bible. Again, Genesis 1:26 and 27 states that we are made in God's image. And Jeremiah 1:5, the prophet was told by God that he knew him before he was in his mother's womb, and his purpose would be that he'd be a prophet. Psalm 139:13 and 14 says, and I quote, "For thou hast possessed my reins, thou hast covered me in my mother's womb. I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that thou so knowest right well." From conception throughout our adult lives, we're created to give God the glory and to fulfill the purpose that he has for our lives. In closing, the two greatest commandments cited in Mark 12:29 and 31 is to love God with our whole heart, mind, and soul, and the second one is to love our neighbor as we love ourselves. So who is my neighbor? The pro-choice advocates are my neighbor. The pro-life advocates are my neighbor. Adults from all backgrounds are my neighbor, and all children that are conceived are made in God's image are my neighbor. So based on biblical principles from the Creator, I'll be voting in opposition to both these bills, and because our bodies and the very breath we take belongs to God, not us. And we'll have to all give an account for our decision here today and throughout life. Thank you, Madam Chair.